Hi!
And I am Dasha Grishano.
And in today's program we are gonna talk about some ecology problems that relate to all of us. More precisely about who and how this helps the environment. Of course, everybody can impact on speeding up or backwards, slowing down this process. For example, people from all over the world gather in one place carefully discussing the questions of ecology, make sober decisions, trying to eliminate these problems. And what about teenagers?
I want you to be afraid. The confusing story of the Greta Thunberg. Now Greta Thunberg is one of the most discussed people all over the world. A 16 years old schoolgirl with the skill of an actress so vehemently urges pollutions to think about environmental use. People around the world admire Greta's activism, but is she really that good? So, let's continue debating into this topic.
Yes, as we know, Thunberg first became known for her activism in August 2018, when at age 15 she began spending her school days outside the Swedish parliament to call for stronger action on global warming by holding up a sign saying "School Strike for the Climate." Soon other students engaged in similar process in their own communities. Together they organized a school climate strike movement under the name Fridays for Future. After Thunberg addressed the 2018 United Nations Climate Change Conference, student strikes took place every week somewhere in the world. In 2019, there were at least 2 coordinated multi-city protests involving over 1 million students each.
The activist has declared herself again recently. She attended the UN summit in New York. 16 years old, Thunberg became one of the speakers at a conference on climate issues in the planet, as well as temperature changes. Among the listeners of the girl were Boris Johnson, Angela Merkel, and other dignitaries. In her first ascent, Greta, in a trembling voice, breaking down into tears, passed a conventions on adults and powerful people of the world.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be here right now. I have to be at school on the other side of the ocean. But you are hoping for the youngest generation. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and childhood with your empty words. People suffer, people die. Entire ecosystems collapse. Mass extinction begins, but all you can talk about is money and tales of constant economic growth.
How dare you?
Said Greta. Thunberg explained that politicians didn't have time to think. Either they begin to act in the interests of the planet right now, or they are waiting for the condemnation and even hatred of future generations.
It's great that she takes care of the environment, but there are some interesting aspects in this situation. People on the net that the secretary of the girls' speeches and artists. Many of them are sure that she is just a PR project of her mom, singer and marketer. Greta also made pantomimes during performances. So at the Economic Forum in Davos, she made a strange speech among the high-profile statements of the girl were, for example, "I don't want people to hope for their best. I want them to plan. I want them to panic, so that they feel the fear that I feel every day."
Since Greta is an environmental activist, she publicly refused to fly to New York by plane. The official public reason was to the media: the plane has too much carbon footprint. This type of transport isn't environmentally friendly, spoils the atmosphere, destroys the ozone layer, and develops global warming, and etc. Greta basically doesn't fly on airplanes, never.
Therefore, they traveled on the yacht Malita II from Sweden to New York. The network has already managed to debate on the fact that the production of the yacht from carbon fiber leaves no less, but even a large carbon footprint. But that's not the point. So what are other aspects in this situation? Greater Atlantic on a 20 meters reach yacht with a sail-disailed angel that is under sail. The trip took about 20 days. The crew of the yacht necessary for the yacht to sail at least 5 sailors.
And after arriving to New York, Greta rested for several days there, then spoke at the UN. She would still spend some time after the performance in New York, then the same move home to Sweden. The sailors who led the yacht with Greta to New York went ashore and fly home by plane. They were replaced by another 5 sailors who would take Greta back to Sweden for another 20 days on the same boat.
So, taking care of the environment. Greta refused to fly with her dad across the ocean. Therefore, 10 people crossed the same ocean in an environmentally unsafe airplane in order to save the environment.
Yes, it's kind of strange, but now we can't say for sure whether this is her good urges or another pointless hype. And what do you think about this point? We are waiting for your comments and opinions. See you next Wednesday. Goodbye.
Bye.